Hello everyone, hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to another episode of What If Goku Was Betrayed and Locked in the Null Realm for 1,000 years. If you're watching this video for the first time, then please go ahead and watch episodes 1 to 4 first so you understand the story. Their links are in the description, so go ahead and check them out. Real quick though, I would like to make a quick announcement that I'm now on Patreon. Patreon is a great platform through which you can help support your favorite content creator by supporting them. On Patreon, you can support me for as little as $10. The link is in the description, so go ahead and check it out. Also, before we start, let me just start by apologizing for uploading episode 5 a little late. I wanted to upload it earlier, however since I'm a full-time student, so it was very difficult for me to do so. So that being said, I thank you for your patience, and let me just say this, it's gonna be worth the wait, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get this episode started. Previously, we saw how Goku's power as Super Saiyan 5 transcends dimension and radiates throughout all of the universes. Grandpriest also picks up his power and is taken over by a fear that Goku's overwhelming ki might break the barrier around the Omni King, causing the Omni King to sense Goku's newfound power. After realizing that, the Grandpriest then decides to take drastic measures and visits Whis to inform him of his decision. Meanwhile, Goku talks with Zamoshi about how he merged his Saiyan powers and divine powers to gain 10 times more power in his Super Saiyan form. However, as their conversation progressed, we then see a sudden turn of events and Zamoshi ends up betraying Goku and revealing his true intentions. He tells Goku that he only trained him to use his power in order for him to ultimately steal his powers to dethrone the Omni King and becoming the new ruler himself. In this episode, after Goku blasts Zamoshi to pieces, he goes back to his base form and looks sad as he looks into the void, contemplating his own fate and the fate of the universe. After staring into the endless void for a while, he then goes ahead and says, "Damn that Zamoshi. If only he hadn't been this greedy, then things would have been a lot more different." It's so pathetic that these gods are quick to judge us mortals for our flaws when they are the ones who created us this way, while they themselves, who are supposed to be perfect, are turning out to be the ones who are full of flaws. Now, as soon as Goku finishes saying that, he then again looks at the void, but this time he closes his eyes, and it is only few seconds later that we see the Grandpriest, who makes his entry into the Null Realm, staring right at Goku, who then opens his eyes and says, "Took you long enough, Grandpriest. It's been a while, Goku. You've grown a lot stronger." What's up with the chit-chat? Aren't you here to kill me? Now, as soon as Goku says that, Grandpriest is surprised and says, "How did you know?" I swear, you guys are just idiots after all. You're not here on your free will, but rather you coming here is simply a part of my plan. And what do you mean by that? I suppose I can give you some explanation. You see, there is a reason why I raised my power to that extent. Truth is, I could have defeated your friend Zamoshi without even transforming, but he was never my target to begin with, as in reality, everything that happened between me and him was simply done in order to lure you here. I see. Well, it seems like your power isn't the only thing that has changed. I can tell you're a very different person from the last time we met. Now, as soon as Goku hears that, he doesn't say anything, but just looks at the Grandpriest with hate and anger. I can see that it's because of what I did to you that you've turned out the way that you have. However, Goku, you acting like this is doing nothing but proving my point. You're nothing but a danger to everything that we have worked so hard to create. You see, at first my plan was simply to lock you up in here and let you live as a reward for all the times that you have saved your planet. However, it seems like now I don't have a choice but to put an end to a life that I so mercifully spared. Mercifully spared, huh? What part of living 1,000 years in this wretched dimension looks merciful to you? I swear, you gods are just worse and more corrupt than the worst of us mortals. Your justice is twisted and warped, and your reasoning is simply idiotic. Idiotic, huh? I would beg to differ, Goku. You see, when we created the mortals, we never intended for them to be perfect. I mean, think about it. If we created mortals with no flaws, then there would be no difference between them and us. However, even though you weren't like us, but we still gave you something better, and that is called free will. You see, we gave you a free will, so that despite your flaws, you would still have the opportunity to choose freely for yourselves. Goku, you were no different either. You were also given a free will. Frankly, you have been given more chances than anyone else ever had. Whether it was your behavior in front of the gods, or your obsession with battle that nearly destroyed all of the universes during the Tournament of Power. Face it, Goku, You're here in this situation because of you, and you have no one else but yourself to blame for this. You're so full of it that I can't even think straight. You say you created us with flaws, and yet you expect us to act like you. You wipe out trillions of forms on a whim simply because they did something that you didn't like. You say that you have given us a free will. Well, there is no goddamn free will if you have written our destinies already. Truth is, if I look back, I agreed with what Zamoshi said. The gods indeed have a messed up logic, and they indeed have a twisted version of justice. He was right when he said that in reality we are simply walking on eggshells, and we are only one wrong move away from being wiped out of existence. Don't believe me? Go ask Universe 13 to 18. Speaking of which, didn't you have your own children in those universes who were serving their gods of destructions? Why didn't you do something to save them when they were wiped out alongside with the rest of the creatures that lived on those universes? You know what? Don't even bother. I know, it's because you didn't give a damn about anyone other than your power and status as a god. Now, upon hearing all of that, the Grand Priest is visibly upset and says, I'm not gonna stand here and argue with you any longer. Before I went ahead with my plan, I wanted to talk to you to see if you can change my mind, but it seems like talking won't do any good. I came here to kill you, and that's what I'm gonna do. Brace yourself. Now, as soon as the Grand Priest says that, he then launches straight towards Goku, who quickly transforms into Super Saiyan 5. And as soon as he does that, their fists finally clash, and their battle starts. Their battle is unlike anything that we have ever seen before. And in this one, it seems like in the first half they are evenly matched until Goku finally gets the upper hand, but Grand Priest isn't to be taken lightly as he fights back and deals heavy blows on Goku, who is surprised to see that the Grand Priest has so much power, but he's oddly calm and is even enjoying his fight. These warriors continue their fighting and they are wrecking everything in the Null Realm. Meanwhile, while they are fighting with each other, we then see Whis, who is standing guard right outside the Omni King's palace, trying to hold the barrier together so that the Omni King doesn't know about their battle. Now, while he's doing that, we then again switch back to the Null Realm, where Goku and the Grand Priest are now both exhausted and have taken heavy damages. Now, as soon as the Grand Priest is about to make a move, Goku just smiles and says, "And now, you're done." Now, as soon as Goku says that, he then adds Kaioken to his Super Saiyan 5 form and uses instant transmission to get behind the Grand Priest's back and hits him with a big Kamehameha wave, which then takes the Grand Priest out. And immediately after that, because of the exhaustion, Goku goes back to his base form and says, "I did it." Now, before Goku could go ahead and celebrate his victory, he then suddenly sees a bright light emerging and a voice saying, "Is this my death that you just imagined?" Now, as soon as we hear that, we then see that it is none other than the Grand Priest, who is still alive and has now transformed into a different form. He looks at Goku with a grin and says, "Sorry, mortal. Even though you have surpassed even my expectations, but I was always going to kill you, and that outcome was never going to change." And as soon as he says that, with lightning speed, he lunges towards Goku and delivers a devastating kick, sending him soaring into the air. As Goku struggles to regain his composure, Grand Priest unleashes a lethal death ball, hurling towards him with deadly precision. Goku, who is exhausted, tries to transform into Super Saiyan 5 but is unable to do so, and just when Goku realizes that he cannot transform, he is then hit by the death ball that makes a thunderous impact which kills him instantly, leaving behind nothing but a massive crater as a grim testament. Now, it is only after that that we end episode 5, which is also the semi-finale of this series. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think this episode had a lot of philosophical aspect to it, and there were a lot of emotions that were involved. So this was surely an emotional one, and one that has ended in a shocker. It will be interesting to see what happens in the finale, as we just don't know what's going to happen next. And if you liked the episode, then please go ahead and hit a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. The finale of this series would be out soon, so stay tuned, and I will see you guys in the next one.